Alrighty, so this is the 1925 Ford Model T bucket. It's got the Dodge 360. As you can see here, old school Mickey Thompson valve covers, handmade headers that shoot out. It's got some glass packs welded on the inside with some kind of crazy baffles they put in. It's got Edelbrock manifold intake, Edelbrock carb, which is a 650, I believe. Alternator set up backwards. Usually on the Mopars it's on the left, but I think they did that for space, and that's actually where the power steering pump would have been. It's missing the cap for the radiator overflow. I gotta get one of those. So give you a shot here of the frame. Steering link box linkage coming down, arm, traction arms welded off the frame. You can see there. And then here's the front motorcycle wheels with the king nut off that spindle I was telling you about. Take a look over here on the back side. So it's got the spindle here, and see if I can get underneath for you. And this is where I was saying that it's square on the back sides here. You can see there's two nuts here, and then the steering control arms bolted on the bottom off this square part, and then the spindles coming off of that. So I guess we probably have to replace this C-piece clamp. I don't know the proper name for it, but I don't know if this is welded homemade or what. I-beam steering arm across the front. It's got the Model T leaf spring front. Actually, this side you can see a little better because it doesn't have that steering arm on it. So there's that square piece with the, I don't know if you call that a kingpin, or that goes through. So I don't know if we need to replace that whole piece. Come over here, fuel pump. The other side of the header. Here's the interior. It's got all, let's see if we can get those in there. All new gauges, which are cool. Little automatic tranny. It's got the Dodge tranny, which you can see comes through here. Short drive shaft, then that goes right onto the rear end over here. Optimal battery with a little box welded to the frame that goes under the front seat. I took the front seat out so you can see, which is sitting right there. Here's the mini roll bar I was telling you about, where the seat belts are attached to. This is where the seat bolt's on, and then it goes down here onto the floor frame. So there's a cross beam. You can barely see it here. We'll crawl them underneath, but that's where the piece we got to cut out so we can move this seat back. I think I can get a good 6 inches. Here's the back of the floor, go halfway. The only thing my concern is the space here for this crossbeam, but I think we can push this down a little bit, or if anything, figure out a way to notch. But I think we can get it back about a good 6 inches. So I'll climb underneath the back end. This is the back seat. Flips up. You can fill the gas tank here. Here's some of that shoddy welding on the back. I was telling you, someone made this tin back piece. It's just janky. We have to maybe re-support that, because you can see here on the bucket, if I switch hands here, the bucket lifts up and down, so got to fix that. Little bar they built for a mini bumper. It's got a Moon Eyes sealed aluminum tank, fuel line. Let's see if I can get under here for you. This is the rear end, which I was told was a Dana 60, and I can see the Mopar star and the number, so I'm assuming they said it's from a Dodge Interceptor, so I'm assuming this is all Dodge drive chain. Here's some more rear end numbers, if you can see them, kind of upside down, sorry. Let's see here. These are traction bars that they have welded off the rear end, some shock mounts here. They got this goofy like single leaf spring that's going across to the top of the rear end, but there's a bolt with I just realized this, there's a bolt here with no nut on the end, so I'm not sure if that's just to keep it from bouncing or what. Let's see if I can crawl over the other side and show you some more of the underneath. So let's see here. So this is the rear end. This is the brace right here where you can see the bolt where that roll bar was put. So I'm thinking what we'll have to do is cut these back and either leave this brace maybe, or add another one. I noticed here this isn't even finished welded, that middle piece, it's barely tack welded on that end, so we may have to do just a little bit of cleaning up and welding under here. Let's see, sorry, I'm climbing around. That's the battery box underneath the frame. Round bar welded off the frame to hold the tranny in, which bolts right there, so that looks pretty legit. Here's the brake master cylinder for the, I don't know if you can see that welded there. That thing's a piece of shit because we have no brakes at all, so we definitely need to fix that. And then the Dodge tranny, little short drive shaft, and then it looks like they had a beam across here, but the U-joint was whacking, so someone just torched it. So those pieces are useless. Probably just ripped those out. So it's got a little just tin floor. Looks like it's tack welded in spots. I don't know, we might have to brace a couple things, but the frame itself solid. I guess you would call it either C-notch or a Z. I think this is a Z frame actually, but it's all square box. That looks legit. So I think they bought that frame and then put the rest in. So anyway, here's another little shot so you can see underneath here. The brake pedal is kind of janky, you can see, and it just slides, you know, it's pushing forward on that master cylinder. So we may have to maybe mess with that a little. The gas pedal seems to work pretty legit. And then just a little horn and lights and ignition. So that is the ride. A little custom radiator, which seems pretty decent in the front. It's got an electric fan, but this thing did start to overheat on me. You can see it through there. I think I might need a bigger fan. I don't know what size fan that is, but it seems kind of small. So this is the metal nose. It's pretty bitchin'. So anyway, that is the ride.